I'm speedrunning chess while explaining every single move, but one blunder ends it all. And today, for episode 4, I'm using the opening repertoire of Magnus Carlsen. At top levels, his openings are definitely great. But are they also practical or maybe even sneaky for beginners and intermediate players? Or are they just too complicated unless you are Magnus himself? I'm not Magnus, by the way. Let's find out. There we go, first game. We have the black pieces and white is playing 1d4. Magnus mostly plays knight f6. In this position there are basically two main moves for black. One is knight here and the other is d5. Now I really don't know what Magnus is playing against the London system, so I need to verify it. I wasn't expecting this. Okay, he plays e5, e3 and c5. I'm not really prepared in this, but I will try to do my best. Okay, so he plays with e6. And then he plays, sorry, c5. That's how he does it. I play it usually with d5. Now, the idea of c5 can be to probably go with the queen out on b6. I'm attacking this pawn and saying to this bishop, why did you really go out so early? Usually a London system player really loves to go out with all his pieces in the same exact way. And queen b6 is creating a problem. Interference. Oh no, my pawn is under attack. Now usually, in some cases, you can leave that pawn hanging. But this doesn't look like one of these cases. Yeah, because if this is falling, the rook is dropped. So now queen d2 is already destroying the plans for my opponent because the knight can no longer go there. So now where are they going to develop this knight? I will go for the move d5. Why? Because I'm controlling the center and also I see one sneaky way to bring my knight forward, attacking the queen and just improving my beautiful knight. This bishop is coming to d3, so let's go for it. I'm attacking the queen. Where is the queen moving? Logical move. The queen is looking at this pawn, protecting the pawn, looking at the knight. So now attention to this one. I'm thinking if I should say like, haha, boom, I close everything. Shut down the party. Party's over. But I will actually go for this move. Why? Because I want to trade the bishop. The London bishop. If they take, I might even consider taking back with the knight. So that after this, then I can shut down the party with tempo. Usually in the line I play against London, I like to try to play for the move e5. So counterattack at the center of the board. But in general, as in every opening, we need to focus on bringing out all the pieces. Now, I could capture back with the queen, I could capture back with the knight. Which one is best? I don't know. No, I think that usually you don't want to go backward with a piece. But in this case, my queen is so well placed here, attacking this pawn. And after bishop goes out, I want to be able to play that move. So in this case, I'm going backwards with the knight. Yes. Oh, I hope this is not a blunder. I think c4 can be a blunder. Can be, this is just over. Let's enjoy this video for as long as this challenge lasts, okay? I hope it's just a mistake because it's just a pawn. Maybe we can argue that the bishop could end up being trapped. Let me know in the comments what you think. Before we check the analysis, we will check it after the game. For now, we keep going what we do usually in chess, which is bring all your pieces out. So we bring the knight. And this bishop is right now saying like, excuse me, ma'am. I don't feel like I'm really doing anything right now. Oh, they're threatening mate. Let's not blunder that, okay? How to defend? Well, typically g6 is the move to be played, and I think I will just do this. Because if not, The queen is sneaking here. Now, the move g6 comes with a downside. Look at this square. The squares. They are all kind of weak. But I don't really have a dark square bishop that can exploit it, so I'm feeling alright. One idea could be every time there is, you know, you've pushed a pawn in front of your king, you have an easier point of contact with your opponent. For example, h4, h5, they're already in contact with my pawn, wanting to open files. I think that could have been a very good plan. Now, I really need to activate, and I would like to play the move e5, but now I really can't, because after pawn takes, knight takes, I lose a piece. So I'm considering rook e8, double checking that is not a blunder. Seems safe. 3-1, release the bomb. After this, well, don't release the bomb, by the way. I'm just kidding. After knight e5, if I take pawn takes, these two pawns could end up being a little bit weak. Whoa. Okay, this is a sacrifice that comes with a big recommendation. Do not try this at home. Because once I take... What's happening? Well, there is a check. Congratulations. But then the king is just moving. And again, what's the matter here? I will go with the king here just because the king is controlling a bit of dark squares. And also potentially, if this pawn decides to go join the attack, my rook could join the defense directly. So this is a typical way to defend with the king. Look at this. So now, how to win this game? First of all, we don't have to get checkmated. Definitely. How do we avoid that? Because they have a little bit of an attack. They want to come here, open the file, sneak on h7. So for rule number one, we don't get mated. And then we try to trade pieces. Now this queen here is doing something, yeah, but not really much. So I will bring my queen back. And the main idea is that if they dare to push this pawn, I'm taking a free cheese macaroni. That knight on g5, juicy, creamy, amazing. I was thinking, sorry if you're vegan, but I think it's a very stupid joke. Anyway, I partly did it. Yeah, whatever. Let's focus on chess. If they are castling long... Oh man, this guy is the son or daughter of Mikhail Tal. They are sacrificing another piece because they want to give mate, but it's not mate. Now the question, should I take that or not? Because I have the impression that I might just take it, snap it. But what if it's a blunder? Okay, let's try to calculate. So, if I take, there is a check. And I can move the king into square. In both cases, this pawn is not hanging because it's protected. If not, it would be mate, right? Probably that's what my opponent is calculating. Now the question is, can they somehow get rid of this knight? They don't have any bishop, the rook cannot do anything. But after pawn takes this, let's say I go with the king here. Do they have anything else? They have a check here, they could take the pawn. Even if they take the pawn or they give a check, I could run with the king here, and then I can try to trade pieces. I feel like I just have to take it. Let's go, guys. If this is a blunder, we are screwed. But I think it's not a blunder. I think we're safe. Now we have a choice to make after they come here to say hello to my king. Where to go, up or down? Usually down is always the way. Now I don't see a major issue with going up, but I see a plus. Basically, once I go here, I'm blocking my rook. Once I go up, usually this shouldn't be the move. By the way, I have to think about maybe a rook coming. Yeah, this could be annoying. This could be a reason why going down might be better. Might be safer, simply. Okay, so let's go down. Let's not be fancy. Let's play solid. This pawn. This could be an example. Imagine they think like, haha, checkmate. And then the game doesn't stop. Doesn't stop until you realize that the knight can take back. Okay, they're taking a pawn. Very good. Now attention, this is still under attack. So what to do? I think I will go... Oof. That move would have been a big blunder. What happens if queen f6? Do you see it? I'm not gonna say it, but I'm not gonna go there with the queen. And probably the best approach is to try to run away with the king. King here, just run to b8. It's a bit cheeky, a bit scary, but that is gonna make it. The only problem for me is my king. If my king is not weak anymore, then I have 2 extra pieces, and that's a lot. Okay, they have 2 pawns to compensate, but that's not that much. So my first priority is to bring my king to safety. If the king needs to run all the way to b8, I'm fine with it. Now, I will go here with the king. This pawn is protected, and if the knight comes here, I just snap it. That's not a fork that you want to play. Okay, queen g5, offering a trade. My instinct is saying, like, just do it, we are under attack, just trade off the queens. And also my logic is saying to do the same, so we trade off the queens, we have quite some extra material. What is their idea? That now the fork is really there. They really want to do the fork. But I will just keep going with my king. The king is out of danger. Now this knight is attacking the rook. I will move the rook here. Yes, why not? Protecting the pawn. There is no fork. I need to bring out my pieces. If I don't do that, I don't win this game. So I will bring the knight here, wanting to attack many things, favor trades, happy to trade. And then I have to still bring out the rook, the bishop, the knight. Even when you have extra material, if you don't play with all your pieces, it's like not having any extra piece. So now I'm taking, very good, trading, and now this bishop needs to be activated. How to do it? e5. But if I play e5 after pawn takes, knight takes, this pawn is hanging. Yeah, I could maybe go with the king here to defend this pawn, and then I push. I need to anyway play that move. So I will go with the king here. Also, this pawn is no longer pinned. So if they start to run, I can potentially just take this pawn and then play e5. Okay, they go with the rook here. Now it's really a good time to play the move e5. There is no longer a rook attacking my pawn, and I'm activating my bishop. As you see in chess is not a simple game because it's a good combination between playing logical but also a little bit of calculation. Usually you need to become really good at chess, you need to be able to calculate 1, 2, 3 moves ahead. That's optimal. Then you can become really very strong. I think you can go, if you know how to play logical chess, plus you can calculate well 2 to 3 moves, you can go up to 2000 elo. And when I say well, doesn't mean like that you can see like 3 moves in a row. That we can all see, hopefully. But that you can understand which one are the right moves that you have to consider for you, for the opponent at every single move. All right, now they are threatening to take this pawn. I don't want to take back, so I'm going to trade. I will trade this pawn here. So once they take back, they have some weak pawns. And the only thing I need to do is really develop. And now I do it with tempo. With the bishop, I'm attacking the rook. So they have to move the rook again. And then I will be able to bring my rook to the game. Maybe sneak here. Usually rooks in endgame, this is a very good suggestion. They love the second rank, if you're black. And the white rooks should love the 7th rank. But don't you dare. The reason is that usually there are so many pawns. All the pawns that haven't moved yet are still in their starting square. So the rook is attacking at the same time many friends. So let's go with the bishop here. The bishop is supported by the pawn behind. And also I really want to sneak my rook there. This knight is doing nothing right now. is just, you know, staring, saying like, is on holidays, vacation right now. But one day it could be, for example, rerouted through this path. I had other priorities for now. I really didn't have my rook playing, my bishop playing, so I had to wait for the knight. But at some point, and maybe that point is really happening right now, because the knight from d8 is also protecting this pawn. So now if they trade, I'm taking, this knight is protected a pawn, and the rook is sneaking towards that square. Everything very logical and very active. This is a great example. Play with all your pieces. If you are a piece down, if you are a piece up, if you are equal material, if you are in the end game, if you are in the middle game, if you are in the opening. The more pieces you have active, the more pieces are actually helping you. So let's give a check. The king is almost checkmated, to be honest with you. No, I can't take that pawn. Let's give a check. Let's see which square is the king choosing. Because if they go over here, they are leaving this pawn hanging. And if they go over there, they are getting mated. Do you see how? If king b1, pretty. I love mates. Who doesn't? So if the king would have gone here, I would have given a check. The king is moving and checkmate. Now I just need to be humble and snap this pawn, then I will snap this other pawn. Which one is the easier way to win this game? I think I know. Oh, I have 59 seconds. Okay, I really need the easiest because there is not much time left. So the easiest is to give checkmate by promoting this pawn. Let that pawn go. Now, attention, this knight is under attack, so we defend it. It's very important to leave the knight where it is, because the knight is holding that pawn. I don't want to lose that pawn, because if I would, counterplay is coming. No counterplay. This bishop is genius, stopping all the pawns from pushing. There is no counterplay, but I need to make sure that this pawn is alive. That pawn is our hero. In the meantime, if white cannot do anything there, we can safely move the rook on the other side and then just run with the other pawn. And we should be able to do that pretty much safely. The rook doesn't have a path here to go to catch this pawn. The rook is blocked here, so this knight is even blocking the rook. So what's left? Maybe the rook can try to join from this side, but also that side is pretty much blocked. I think the rook cannot do anything. Okay, we are under 1 minute, both of us. Oh, okay, they are giving a pawn, but I'm just taking it. This is not really a big deal. Maybe they were hoping that somehow I would have taken with the pawn, so that this one has free way to promote. Still not simple, because the knight is blocking the square in front. But this makes our life even easier. Oh, wow, they are sacrificing everything, but this pawn is not going anywhere. You know what? I will pre-move this move. Imagine if they would have pushed, that would have been terrible. Okay, so we move the rook here, and then we just run with this pawn. We just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I am going. Yo, 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 yo. Okay, I think now they will push this pawn. If not, it's checkmate in 2 moves. I take it. Attention, do not stalemate. White has no move left. But this is just checkmate. GG's. Now, was the opening move a blunder? Let's see. Was just a mistake, guys. Was just a mistake. I'm so happy, but still, it was a bad move. It was a bad move because the pawn is just hanging over there. I should have played the move h6. The other critical moment left was this one. Is this sacrifice good or bad? It's actually tricky, but I can just take that pawn. This is safe. Oh, going to f6 would have been also good. And now my king is running to glory. Trading the queens was great. All right, good job. Next game. Game 2, we are black again, and now they play the move e4. Now Magnus here plays both first move. One e5 and one c5. But I want to go for 1c5 because I love it. He plays almost 50% one, 50% the other. And Magnus plays a very particular Sicilian. I don't know if they will go for the open Sicilian. Guys, nobody has ever played this move against Magnus. Because bishop c4 is a mistake in the Sicilian. And I will show you why. So now you play just the move e6, you block the bishop, so he's not doing any scholar-made business on f7. The bishop is blocked. This doesn't work if you play e4, e5. If you would play e4, e5 after bishop here, you can't go backwards with the pawn. But here you can. Now, the the knight is actually controlling the square, so we cannot play d5 with tempo, which is usually what we want to do. But we will just go out with the knight. Magnus always puts his knight on c6 in the Sicilian. Now, I still can't play the move d5. I would love to do so because it would give me full control over the center, but my pawn would be hanging. Can I play the move knight f6 to then play the move d5? Not really, because they can play e5. Usually the way to prevent the move e5 is to play either d6 or queen c6. In both cases, we are controlling that square. Then we can play knight f6. I will play the move a6. Why? Because in order to go with the queen here, I don't want this knight to be able to jump in one of these two squares. So this is a useful move. Plus, it comes with a sneaky trick. After b5, attention at this bishop. If the bishop goes there, the bishop is getting trapped. This is a very common trap. And now the bishop went still in a wrong square because this is a free cheese macaroni. Juicy, yummy, tasty. We take it. The queen is no longer protecting, so this knight cannot take back. And now this knight is under attack. The knight doesn't have many squares. Has to go there. Or back home, as you prefer. And now this pawn is attacked twice, but I have a perfect way to protect it a second time. e5. Boom. My knight is protecting pawn number 1. My knight is protecting pawn number 2. But the most important thing is that the pawns, this pawn is protecting the other one. So we have a full extra pawn. They castled. What do we need to do? Play with all your pieces. Develop all your pieces. So we go with the knight out, followed by this bishop. Probably, what is the bishop going out? These are the 4 possibilities. I would probably exclude those 2. Because the bishop is just blocked by the pawns. So I will probably choose e7 for the reason that there is really no reason to go on b4. So we rather play a little bit more solid. Now c3 is trading off this pawn. It's a smart idea. Because this pawn is blocking all white pieces from entering the game. I still need to develop. I will take here. The knight will probably take back, and then I will castle. Now, if my pawn would be here, black would be almost winning. But since my pawn is a backward pawn, it's a little bit weak. My extra pawn has a value of 0.8. I really don't like taking back with this pawn. I really don't like, because this pawn is now another weakness. Every pawn that cannot really be protected by another pawn is usually a potential weakness. And this is an example. This pawn is isolated, cannot be protected by any other pawn. So every time we attack it, they need to defend it with a piece. Meaning that to save 1 point, they have to use 3 or more. That's why it's usually not a great idea to have an isolated pawn. Now, we just castled the king. We need to complete our development. If I can, I will go for the move d5. Fighting for the center even more. Maybe I will play first the move h6, just to ask a question to this bishop. What do you want to do in your life? Now, should I trade? This is a weak pawn, we said. Should I trade it? And I won't. I will just push it. The reason is that, look at this bishop, is blocked behind the pawns. Also, my pawn here is very strong, protected by the bishop, by the knight, could be protected by the other pawn. And also this pawn is stopping the knight from getting upgraded. The knight is really stuck, cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here. So my pawns are doing really a good job. Now, this seems to me like a free cheese macaroni. What do you think? We take it, why not? The bishop is protecting it from the moon. Sometimes it's hard to see these bishops from far away. Okay, now the knight is coming to the party. Very smart. Maybe taking was not the best move, objectively. You know what? Because now this pawn is actually a bit weak. Maybe it would have been better to play bishop e7. We'll see. But it's definitely not a blunder. I hope. So now this knight wants to get to d5. That's a great idea. Really a great idea. That's why it was better probably to skip the pawn on b4. Okay, I will play knight. Ooh, but if I play knight here, this pawn is hanging. Oopsie. I think taking that pawn was really poisoned. Anyway, I will go with the rook here, with the idea that my rook is starting to defend that pawn. And now attention to this move. This move is very dangerous because the moment I take this knight, this bishop is hanging. And if you trade first to then take the knight, you are in big trouble. Because the knight is actually taking back and saving his life. So that's the right move. And this works just because after I take, this knight is also hanging. If this knight wouldn't be here, then this would be a great position for me. But since we have an extra pawn, we should be happy with a few trades. So I'm probably gonna take this one. Another option could be to jump with this knight forward. No, we'll just go for the trade. Now, after knight takes, we take back. If they take, we take back. We have 2 extra pawns. If they take, we take here anyway. We still have 2 extra pawns, but this one might fall from one moment to the other. It's not really going to have a long life. Unless... unless they blunder, as they did, I think. I mean, this pawn is still attacked twice, so it's not really simple, because if we protect it this way, then this pawn is falling. But I'm gonna save this pawn and give away this one in exchange. So basically, my calculation is bishop there, protecting this pawn, the knight is taking, attacking this pawn, I go with the bishop, and if the queen is moving, then I push this pawn, and this is a disaster for them. But they could also play bishop c4. And then once I take, they take back with the queen, and this pawn is still problematic. What to do here? I will do something very funny. I will give away this pawn like this. Map is not a good idea. Because actually I thought after rook takes I give this and we would win my weird material, but bishop c4 is just stopping the issue again. Okay, that was not a very smart move. Let's go with the bishop here. We need to defend this pawn. Sorry, this pawn. Maybe we can do something fancy like this. I also need to speed up. I'm using too much time. Okay, let's go with the bishop here. Simple. I know that we are giving away this pawn, which is really not something we would like to do. I'm not playing my best chess. I'm playing the best opening with Magnus Carlsen, but this is tricky. I'm trying to come back though. Okay, let's play bishop here. I need to remove this. It's not the most active bishop, but one day I will be able to do it. I need to consolidate my 2 extra pawns. I need to make sure that they are stable and strong there. So I will try to advance them. Would be lovely to have them connected, right? If they would be next to each other, because like this, they are a little bit weak. I will pre-move to capture here back with the rook. Let's see, but I will try to advance them safely. The more you advance, the more dangerous they are, no matter if they are disconnected or not. So, okay, we advance it. This move is useful, can give a space for the king. I just have 2 minutes left, so we gotta hurry. For real. Okay, queen c7 is a good square for the queen, supporting all 3 pawns. And the queen can also no longer be attacked. I will probably play at some point to move h6, so we don't have to worry anymore about the back rank. But I might first start to push these pawns even more, because the back rank is, to be honest, pretty much well protected. Okay, they are coming with the knight here, so I will probably push this pawn. Very good. And then I need to do something about this bishop. This bishop needs to be on d4. That's where the bishop has to be. So I made sure to push this pawn forward so the knight here is not attacking this pawn and this one is protected. So now I go here. My bishop needs a better square. On f6, the bishop is really sad. So d4 is ideally where we want to go. Let's see if white lets us go there. Queen e2. The queen doesn't seem like doing anything problematic, so we keep going for our plan, bringing the bishop to d4, blocking the rook, attacking the other rook. The bishop is also looking at f2, which is a weakness. So we are also in this case, we are improving every single piece, right? Try to play with the bishop. And then we will need probably to activate this rook somehow, because right now the rook is just defending the pawn. But this bishop from d4 will be defending the pawn, attacking here, attacking there, multitasking piece so that we can freely go with the rook somewhere else. Very important to make sure that the back rank is covered. Okay. I could take this knight, but I won't. I will go here with the bishop. Okay, let's play h6. I don't want to think about the back rank anymore. And now maybe I can start to, okay, attack that pawn. One more time, maybe attack it a third time with the queen and then bring this rook somehow as well. Once I attack everybody, well, with all my pieces there, okay, I will go back here. Not much time, but this bishop is doing something funny. Is dominating this knight, controlling all the squares where the knight can go. The knight can still go in some of the squares because it would be protected, but it's a fun maneuver, a fun pattern to see. Okay, now we'll do rook here, looking at this beautiful f2 point. We insist, sir, if I may, attacking it a third time. Okay, we need to defend this pawn. One idea can be to somehow make this rook come to the game. So we will make that rook join as well. There we go. 59 seconds. Where is the knight going? Not really somewhere dangerous. I will move my rook. Maybe I should just try to overload this knight. So maybe attack it one more time. Then also with the queen. Should play with all my pieces. Ooh, they try to trade. I am not taking the trade. I want them to trade. I want them to take. If I go here, they take here though. Okay, I will do this move. I am basically pinning this knight. Look, this. The knight cannot move. So if they don't take, I am then taking, and the rook is a free cheese macaroni, yes. And if they do take, then my pawns can potentially protect each other. I have 24 seconds. Okay, here we need really not to lose on time. So let's pre-move this. Very good. Oh! Right. I want to take this pawn. And they can protect it with only move that doesn't lose very quickly. That's the only move. If not, I take probably with the bishop. Yes. Wow. Okay, I need to promote this pawn now. 22 seconds. I will make it. I will hopefully make it. Yeah, they don't have a move. I will take here with the rook. I'm threatening mate in 3 moves. Actually 2. I take back, and now I don't have to make the king run. I will just do something like this. Yeah, bishop here. Then give a very nice check. Okay, this is not stalemate, guys, because this pawn and this other pawn can still move. Now the king has not really square left. I'm removing the last squares for this king. Now the king cannot move forward, and this is gonna be a kiss of death. Mwah. GG's. Let's check that we don't have blunders. All right, no blunders, but we had 1 miss. Okay, come on. And this was made in mate in 3 instead of mate in 4. Where is the evaluation bar? Oh, this was mate in 1. Okay, this was made in 1. Okay, we could have made it a little bit easier. I'm sure that some of you saw it in advance. These games were so intense that this is already the final game, but we will try to play it very quick. Now, I know that Magnus plays e4 more than d4, but I have no idea what he plays against the Scandinavian. Let me check. Okay, Magnus has played in classical chess, according to Open3, 5 times against the Scandinavian, and he always took, which makes sense. And after queen takes, he says like, aha, the queen has to move again. So Magnus plays what is the best logical move. Now, of course, nobody plays this against Magnus. This is a check, and it's a little bit tricky as far as I know. Now I could cover with the bishop, with the knight, with the queen. I will cover with the bishop, because then the knight is just going to f3. Yeah, and the trick here is that, ooh, if we now play knight here, after this you take with the pawn. That's probably why people are playing this. But if I play the move d4, I'm saying to the queen, hello there, move 1 more time, and the queen has to kind of stay on this line. If not, this bishop is hanging. And if they take, now we bring out a knight, we are ready to castle. Look at my pieces. I have developed a knight, another knight, and they are still just going around with the queen. That's why I really don't like the Scandinavian. That's why the Scandinavian is not that much played at top level. Almost nobody played it against Magnus Carlsen. There is a reason. And I'm just not a big fan of this opening in general. Now I'm already looking for some very nice tactics. I go out with the bishop. This bishop is protected by the knight, just in case. And the bishop is also looking at that pawn over there. Yes. And my idea would have been to go with a knight somehow towards those squares. I'm thinking about just playing the move d5 here. Just playing the move d5 and saying like, all right, so where did you develop? Where do you really develop? Because this knight cannot go out. This knight cannot go out. If I play the simple move castle, they are going to play e6. So yeah, I will play d5. I feel it's good to open up the center if your opponent has all the pieces at home. Why not? If they take, we take with the knight, we are attacking the queen, and we are giving a fork, we are winning on the spot. So they can't take. And if they don't take, what are they playing? Like, probably knight here? Because this knight cannot move, this bishop cannot move. Or e6? These are basically the 2 options. Now, I could already just go on with my pawn. I could also take and be quite happy with this. I will just take. I love to take. It's simple, doesn't complicate it. And now look at those. What did we achieve? Well, the queen and the king are on the same file. I'm getting my rook soon, very soon there. If they take here, they are gonna be in big pain. Okay, they didn't. So they interfered over there, but still we have a very strong knight move. I will play a6, and the idea is very sneaky. If they take, again, they are lost. And if they don't take, well, where is the bishop moving? They go here. Basically, the bishop should stay on this file to defend the knight, because if not, I'm going to move this knight and then to sneak my bishop on d6, and then this knight is lost. So now I'm thinking, should I keep going, keep insisting? Because after b4, the bishop has to go there. And then I can play knight here, the queen moves, and then I have either bishop here or knight there. This looks fun. This looks really fun. Let's play b4. I approve this move. The bishop is back, and now where to go with this knight? I was thinking about this, but I kind of don't want to block my queen. I will go with the knight here, actually. And where is the queen moving? If the queen is moving, boom, bishop d6. I win on the spot. I'm even calculating a rook sacrifice if I can. But I think this is simple, sweet, nasty. That's pretty much the only move left. Bishop d8. It's horrible, but it defends the knight. Now, this knight is not really playing right now. This knight also not really amazing. My rook is also not amazing. So probably I will just play queen here and rook there. And then the threats are just too big. And the nice part of queen here is that this bishop is still protected. They can't castle. If they do castle, I win a piece. Yes, and there we go. Okay, let's finish this guy very quick. Extra piece, every trade is good, or we can just improve even more some other pieces. This knight still cannot go out, at least not towards the center, can go on the side of the board. Here we have another free cheese macaroni. To be honest, I don't feel the rush. I will just bring the rook here, consolidating my position. If the rook is attacking my queen, I have a safe square, then I will probably just create an escape square for my king, so there is no back rank. And I need to improve my knights. My knights need a better future. Now I will take this pawn. Ooh. Or maybe not. Let's play this. Safety first. Because, you know, some rook e8 could have been annoying. I want to play this. I will take that pawn at some point. Also, now there are some ideas of queen e6 check and then knight f5, attacking g7 even more. So f6 was a horrible decision, in my opinion. The other knight, how can the other knight join the party? Let's come up with a plan. Ooh, knight d1, knight here, knight there. That's also fun. This is a good move, trying to activate the knight. So now it's a very good moment to snap here so that this knight is now hanging. Will they see it? Okay, now they take here. If I take, they take this knight. So I might as well just take this pawn. This knight cannot take, and this knight is still hanging. The knight cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go there. So they need to defend it. Maybe with the queen, they can defend it by pushing this pawn. That would be an impressive defense. This move is good because if I take, oh no, my rook. But there is an in-between nasty check. Now I'm checking, and this gives me time to trade first the rooks and then to take this knight. And that's where the move h3 come to help me. Because now this is not checkmate. It's not checkmate also because the knight can go back. But the simpler way is to give away an escape square for the king. Now we have 2 extra pieces and we have many ways to win this game. Either we trade off the queens and the rook. We need still to avoid some sort of checkmate. Imagine a queen on g1. If the queen could go there, that would be mate. Probably the queen is not getting anytime soon there, so we will try to checkmate through the back rank. In the meantime, we want one more pawn, so this one can also in the future run. We go for this move because we are trading pieces and approaching the king, so that's a great idea. Now I will go backwards here with the queen because I'm attacking this pawn. Yes, and now we get it done. I will go with the queen here, simply cleaning off the board. The queen has to take, I will take with knight, and then this pawn will run. I will leave this knight as a bait. We don't need a knight to win the game. We just push, 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 make a queen, a beautiful queen, and deliver checkmate. And that's why they resigns. Hopefully no blunder. No blunder. Actually 95% accuracy. That's cool. And this means that the challenge will go on. Let me know in the comments which ideas do you want me to use in the next videos. I speedrun chess, but what? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this one, episode 3 of this speedrun. It got very spicy. Very, 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 very spicy. Check it out.